Welcome to the auction. So bid often and bid high. Auction items include circus posters, training sessions with clowns and other circus professionals, historic photographs, and much more. The auction can be found at 32auctions.com. Remember, the dollars you spend today keeps the show on the road tomorrow. All right, what do you give for them? How about a bit of 200? How about a bit of 200? Somebody bit of 2, they're going to be 200, 200. How about a $5? 5, get a 5, 10, 15, get a 15, now 20. 20, 20, 25. Somebody bit of 25. Hey, bit of 25, 25, get a 29, now 30, $30. Somebody bit of $30, going to be 30, 30, 30. How about a bit of 30, 30, now 5, 35, get a 35, now 40.
Hello friends, and welcome to Bindlestiff's Open Stage Variety Show, the Quarantine Edition, coming to you live from Bindlestiff Family Circus headquarters in Brooklyn, New York, formerly known as the home of the Lenape and Canarsie. Well friends, it has been yet another wacky week in the world of whimsical and wanton words from Washington. Steroid-enhanced actions are fueling the super spreader sensations. A fly makes its mark on the debate stage, and an Idaho-based juggler, David Rush, sets a new world record slicing through 40 apples while juggling knives, unseating Josh Casey from his position. And although Broadway has pushed back opening for at least another 6 months, there are little rays of hope in the world of in-person entertainment. Zopi Family Circus is doing drive-ins, and Bernardo is combining in-person with virtual. And just yesterday, Magic Brian did a street show in Greenpoint, New York. Absinthe announced their Las Vegas reopening at the end of the month. So folks, throw your gold ring with precious aim at the we whirl around on this crazy carousel called life. For now, just kick back and enjoy a respite from the insanity and celebrate the love and strength of the circus arts. Now, just in case you base your entire week around Bindlestiff, today is Monday, Indigenous Peoples Day. It is the 12th day of October in the year 2020. Tonight's show is dedicated to a longtime supporter of Bindlestiff, a big fan of all things circus, and a dear friend of my family. Richard Nelson left us earlier this year. Our pre-pandemic plans included a month-long run of a Bindlestiff tented show, during which we had planned to bring family, friends, and circus fans together for a grand celebration of Dick's life. Unable to gather in person under the canvas, we shifted this offering to the virtual. So tonight, we honor a man who loved circus. His family gave me my first New York City landing pad. Dick helped Bindlestiff get its first spotlight. And Rocket Man Dick Nelson, we miss you. Now, this screen is a place for magic and art to happen. It is an entertainment laboratory providing a place for mountebanks and minstrels to experiment. Last season, we featured over 200 artists from 25 states and 6 nations. And thousands of folks like you tune in each week for our regular journey into the depths of the variety arts. Now, before launching in tonight's show, we ask you to take a moment and share the show on your social media. Let's pack this virtual circus tent. Bindlestiff Open Stage provides a home for emerging and professional artists. We are your one-stop home delivery circus and variety meal. At the start of the pandemic, Bindlestiff started bringing the show into your home. And to this day, we continue to bring you a nutritious meal of hot circus, better than a TV dinner. Like every Monday, we return to the isolated world of circus artists in hopes of delivering a burst of fresh air into your shelter at home. For those of you sitting in an all-ages environment, fear not. We are cleaner than the campaign trail. We are here to celebrate art, expression, and human potential. Tonight, we attempt to break the fourth wall and bring you live vaudeville into your shelter. Now, in this show, we pass the hat to support the artists you see on screen. We don't want to turn anyone away because they can't afford tickets to tonight's show. Thus, we present it free of charge. And ask those of you who can to contribute to the show. If you donate during the show, all of the support you give goes directly to the artist. The cast in tonight's show have trained for years to do what we do. And 7 months ago, we were all laid off. So during these trying times, help keep the arts live in America. Our goals are simple. Bring joy and wonder to the world and feed the artist. Please help us to do just this using any of the payment methods you saw on the screen. Now, I'm going to start this show in the same way that I always start the show. And that, my friends, is by presenting to you the oldest toy on the face of this planet. Now, the regulars are probably quite familiar with this item, the spin top. But those of you not familiar, I will start with the basics, and then we'll go from there. Now, this portion of the top-throwing act is simply called the wind. The wind in top-throwing lingo is simply a moment for the performer to look at you, the audience. And now to get us spinning. We're going to place it where you get a little bit better view. This is my favorite part, folks. I sure love watching top spin. Now just take a moment and breathe and relax before we kick into the craziness of tonight's show. And while it's spinning, take a moment and think about attention spans and how they've changed over the past few decades. You see, 40 years ago, people would watch a top spinning like this for 20 minutes at a time, thinking it was the coolest thing in the world. Wow. 17 more minutes to go. But now in 2020, people expect a little bit more excitement out of their top spinning. So in a moment, I will give you just that. But first, once again, the wind. Whoop, ah. Oh, it fell. I'll give you one more spin before we kick into even more tops, my friends. You already know this part. Now I know some of you out there are probably looking at me saying, how are you going to top that one? Thought I even heard somebody out there say, man, that's a top-notch act. Well, friends, it's time for me to go over the top because we're going to present to you a little moment from this past week. Paul Stewart and I are on this mission to, break the Guinness Book of World Records on spinning the largest top. We're not quite there yet, but this little video will show you where we're at. Now, while much of the season is introducing new faces in the Bindlestiff arena, Season 2 also welcomes back some of the extraordinary individuals from our first season. This top hole entertainer is a medical school professor, former national champion race car driver, and cast member and juggling coach with Whiz Bang Circus Theater in Cleveland, Ohio. He brings to the stage one of my favorite treats on the variety stage, a place where wacky stunts are commingled into a single moment of cosmic undulation. Tonight, he will share some multi-prop manipulation and multitasking for your viewing pleasure. Welcome, Dan Wasdal. Thank you, Dan. Marvelous as always. Now, our next artist was born into Cirkus. Daniela Jack is the daughter of the world-renowned hula hoop artist Anna Jack. Traveling alongside her mother since she was 3 years old to perform hula hoops in the tri-state area, Daniela found her love for the art of contortion at the age of 9 and continuously performs even after having 2 children, Luciana and Braden, 22 months old and 4 months old. She currently resides in Orlando, Florida, and has worked in theme parks and dinner shows as a singer, dancer, and actor, stunt performer, but is here tonight to show her roots in the circus arts. The last time she joined us on the Bindlestiff stage was in 2010 in a Bindlestiff cavalcade of youth production in a Spiegel tent. And tonight, I am thrilled to welcome her back to the Bindlestiff stage. Welcome, Daniela Jack. Daniela Jack. And now, folks, we love our audience and we celebrate you talking to each other. Now, many of you are out there are probably just sitting back watching the show on the big screen. That's completely fine. But there's a whole nother world of folks who are going for what we call the top chatterer. You can see their comments right now in the Facebook and the YouTube feeds because we honor the person who chats the most. We're going to take a moment and recognize the folks that won last week. Starting it off with our 4th place position, making their first appearance on the chatter board, Lucida Fancy Cut. Now coming in strong, but not strong enough for a sash, in 3rd place, Rachel Barczak. And friends, he's no longer king of the hill. 2nd place this week goes to Skip Shirey. And grabbing that sash once again, Mr. Angelo Iodice. Congratulations once again. Well, folks, you still have time to win for this coming week, so go ahead and start your chattering now if you haven't already. Now, tonight we are celebrating circus families. Our next performer has toured the world dancing on the wire for the past 20 years. She began her circus career after receiving her BA in dance from the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. She has rigged her wire around the world in the past few years. She has performed with No Fit State Circus, Zope Circus, Flynn Creek Circus, Circus Flora, the Bindlestiff Family Circus, Midnight Circus, Circus Bella, and the Big Apple Circus. Now this act aligns with bedtime in the Dom House, so you never know who may come running across into the screen view. Accepting challenges and working with the environment are just a couple of traits of the circus folks are known for. Using improvised music originally created by Frederick Iverson during a Bindlestiff residency at the Basilica Industria in Hudson, New York, she opens the playbook to a blank page to once again bathe in the soft light of improv on the wire. Ariel Abashay. Delightful, Ariel. Now we take this moment to remind you that this is a donation-based show. Some of you may be wondering just how much you should donate to keep performance alive in America. Well, friends, if you want an easy out, you could send us the suggested admission price of our once in-person open stage, a mere $12. Or you can take a moment and accept a mathematical equation that accepts the reality that tonight's cast of artists have been out of work for months. So think about the last time you really had a night out on the town. You know, dinner, drinks, and a show. Whether Dutch treat or you were footing the bill, the amount easily can hit 3 digits. So with so many months free of nights out, your savings have been massive. So tonight, take some of that savings and give back to the world you want to see. Feed these artists tonight so they can be here to entertain you tomorrow. Use any of these methods to support the cast from tonight's show. She is a New York City-based aerialist, dancer, educator, and arts administrator. Most notably, she performed with Fish at their 2018 New Year's Eve concert at Madison Square Garden. Before the pandemic, she was seen on stage with A.B. Cirque in their productions of Different Trains and The Towel Line. She now creates aerial work from inside her apartment and teaches classes at Bridge for Dance in the 92nd Street Y. Put your hands and emojis together for Shayna Golub. little something over the dinner table. Now, friends, this next part is, science at work. If you have all of these elements at home, give it a try later. Now, for those of you under the age of 21, you can do this fine without the product that I'm using. Now, I used to do this act with single malt scotch, but my friends, after 7 months of no work, it's gotten a little cheaper here at Bindlestiff. So if you have glasses, rope, and pool triangles, you could do this. Gets more exciting when you're doing it in the comfort of your own home, because you see, when you're on a stage and a bunch of liquid goes flying around, no big deal. But when your house is surrounded with computers and wires, a little liquid can go a long way. So far, so good. Just making sure that part worked. We're going to make it a little bit more exciting here, my friends. Wait for it. I think I've got enough to go around. Well, friends, horses have been an integral part of circus since the beginning. More on this matter just a little bit later in the show. Tonight, we take you into the riding ring. One of the human members of this next group will be familiar to many of you who joined us the first season. This young rising star, Maddie Gatrell, is an aerialist and contortionist, but today, we join her in the journey in the equestrian arts. Maddie is a North American trick riding champion. Joining Maddie in the ring is Carla Switzer, who started her horse-centric life at the age of 15 with a $10 kill pen horse. Carla is a student of the horse and has studied a wide range of equestrian disciplines, including reining, ranch horse, Roman riding, trick riding, colt starting, and liberty. Carla has studied and learned from such trainers as Tommy Turvey and Dan James. Carla will be Roman riding Mouse and Maggie and trick riding on Dusty. Maddie will be riding Boomer. Presenting feats that got their start during the Roman Empire, Carla Switzer and Maddie Gatrell with a new take on an ancient act. Carla and Maddie. Amazing. Well, friends, with that, we come to the Community Bulletin Board. This is a time where we get to talk about things that are happening outside of this show. So, folks, if you're in the audience and you are doing workshops and shows online, now's a good time to let everybody else out there know. So go ahead and just put your events out there in the comments section. Now, in a moment, I'm going to be handing the mic over to our performers to let you know what they're doing. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you about a few of my favorites. One is something that is starting probably just about at this moment, and that is Art Time with Rich. Rich Potter takes the time after every show to, well, create the historical document that represents tonight's show. So if you want an artist's perspective on what happened, go to Art Time with Rich. He will be there probably until midnight, drawing and painting tonight's production. I also encourage those of you that can to sponsor the show. Get an ad on the show. Basically just help support what we're doing. There's many different ways to do that. You can go to the Bindlestiff site online and just see how you can be more a part of this particular event. There's also a demographic survey that will put, you can check out the link. I know we're digging a little bit deeply into your life, but this allows us to go to potential sponsors and tell them who our audience is so we can hopefully get a bit more support to continue doing what we do. I'm now going to turn it over to our first performer to tell you what she's up to, Shayna.
Hi, I'm Shayna. I am teaching children's classes as well as children and adult private lessons at the Bridge for Dance, which is a dance studio and also has aerial capabilities on the Upper West Side. So if you're interested in signing your child up to take a class, registration is still open for the fall. You can go to the website that I don't know which side it's on, but it's in the comments. And if you're interested in private lessons, you can email their contact info and let them know you want a lesson with me. Thanks.
Oh, hello. Your stage manager, Elia here. Do you enjoy songs inspired by death, crime, literature, ancient mythology, and the occult? What about seances, spirit mediums, and the great Harry Houdini? Good news! My macabre musical duo, Charming Disaster, will present our weekly quarantine live stream this Friday, October 16th, on our Facebook and YouTube channels. This show is co-presented by Richmond, Virginia's premier goth industrial fetish club, Fallout, with special guest magician Nelson Lugo doing real magic. Tune in and find out for yourself this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, streaming live on Charming Disaster's Facebook and YouTube channels. This Friday, we are also releasing a spooky new single for the Halloween season, Houdini. Pre-order it now, and it will appear in your inbox the moment it's released. You'll find links in the comments or find everything you need. Yes, everything at charmingdisaster.com. Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome to the Muse virtually.
Hello. I'm not really prepared for this, but I will tell you that I and many other people teach classes at the Muse. Right now we're doing privates because there's lovely outdoor rigs, so it's very COVID safe. And yes, Angela?
And we also have online classes, which you can do from the comfort of your own home. They're all sliding scale donation based, so please check us out at themusebrooklyn.com/online.
Thank you. It's not ready.
Hello, my name is Polly Solomon. I have a question for you tonight, and please go ahead and type your answer in the chat if you've got one. My question is this: when did you first encounter Bindlestiff Family Circus? Maybe you learned to ride unicycle on Governor's Island during the annual NYC Unicycle Festival. Maybe you found them while wandering through Greenwood Cemetery. Or maybe you found yourself seated in the audience of a Bindlestiff production on a stage, in a festival, even at a presidential library. My first encounter with Bindlestiff Family Circus was when I signed up for a juggling and prop manipulation class that founders Keith and Stephanie were teaching in the winter of 2007. As any aerialist will tell you, and as every juggler has forgotten, Learning to juggle is hard. It took weeks for me to figure out how not to think about missing the ball, but I got it. 3 years ago, that first introduction came full circle when I became an instructor for Bindlestiff Circus after school program in Manhattan's East Village. Now it is my turn to weekly remind our young students, as any of them will tell you, that we never say I can't. However it was that you first came to know Bindlestiff, be it through a regional ICO festival, a First of May grant recipient, or even tonight joining us in the audience, I know you have gained so much from that encounter and all the other encounters that this one will lead to. The Bindlestiff Family Circus gives us all so much, and now it's our turn to give back. There are 3 ways you can help this amazing company continue their work. The first is to go ahead and buy a ticket or sponsorship to Tea and Circus, a Bindlestiff Gala, which is being held this Saturday, October 17th at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, digitally. Tickets are on sale through bindlestiff.org/gala. You can also bid on our amazing auction items. We've added new items this week by visiting 32auctions.com/bidbig for Bindlestiff. My goal is tonight to get to that $3,000 mark, so please go bid, help me reach my goal for that $3,000. The other way you can help us is to help spread the word. Post on your social media, call a friend up, invite them to join us, and help us get the word out, because you know 10 people who will love this, and they will know 10 more people, and we will all be together for the gala this Saturday, the 17th. Join me in giving back to this company that has given us all so much. Thank you.
And this is just a quick reminder that tonight is a donation-based show. Support the artist. The money you give tonight goes directly in their pockets. Use any of these formats to donate. And now, dear friends, welcome to Exquisite Failures with Keith. This is an opportunity for me to, practice things that I haven't been touching in quite some time. That means that it could easily fail. And being called Exquisite Failures, when it fails, it's a success. And if it succeeds, because it's Exquisite Failures, it fails. So no matter what happens over the next couple minutes, I'm going to get this right. We're going to continue with the joy of the pool table. So again, if you happen to have a pooled room, you can give this a try later. Let's see, got to get all the parts together for this. I was using a real globe for a while, but it took a couple big hits on the ground, and Earth just doesn't like it when you're banging it around like that. So we've moved to a representation of the Earth that's used to being kicked around. Okay, put that there and see what. Whoops. And if all goes well, we're going to take these 3 pool cues, lift them up gently, and balance all of this up on top of my head. We'll try that again. Luckily, the little metal cup keeps them from falling on my face. Bear with me. Now, with Exquisite Failures, we keep the circus tradition of 3 tries before we move on. So, dear friends, that was failure number 1. We now will go for our second attempt. In the grander days of theater, this would be a perfect moment where I could invite audience volunteers up to the stage and help. But we've now gone with 7 months of no audience volunteers, and life just gets a little bit more difficult. Attempt number 2. Bringing us now to our second attempt, leaving us only one more try before we move on. I love failure. Okay. And with that, my friends, we have yet another successful exquisite failure. Now, Hans Liebediek is an international variety artist from Dusseldorf in Germany. He is a master of circus arts and an incorrigible, hopeful romantic. Welcome, Hans Liebediek.
Hello. Guten Abend. Yeah, I'm Hans Liebediek. So good to be here with you virtually this evening at the Bindlestiff open stage. I am from Dusseldorf in Germany, but I have many years experience with the Bindlestiffs. We are touring so many years ago in a tiny van, barely making it from town to town, swallowing God knows what. And that was just lunch. Okay, yeah. No, we were touring, I remember touring the highways and the byways and the gender non-conforming ways of America, but now it's different. Yeah, 2020, it's been quite something, but it's not all bad. For instance, I, Hans Liebediek, myself, I became a US citizen this year in February. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Well, anyway, here we are now. We are on the virtual stage and we are going to make it just as abundantly, how you say, just as amazing for you there at home. And we are doing it under the little big top of my house. Okay, but we can make it all the same. We are doing the acts that I am famous for performing internationally. At first I started with the Diablos. This was quite a money maker for me back in the day. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do my famous 3 Diablos, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay. In the other rooms, the ceiling is a little taller. We're doing something different. Hold on, I find something. Okay. So people want to see more acrobatic act. I'm doing the free ladder act. The famous climber up and over the rungs. You see now. Okay, hello. Okay, here we go. Okay, what's this one also? Okay, could use a little more room. That's okay. The funness of the big top. Okay. What's this one? I think I get it over. Yeah, okay. There we go. Just one more. Okay, no, that's not gonna work. Hold on. I guess it. Woo! Oh! Oh! Alright? Almost done. Thank you. Okay. No, we're artists, yeah? We have to be creative. Okay, make the best of it. It's just like the shows we did before, but we do it a little different this time. Like you have to find something around your house. Does anyone have one of these at home? Yeah? You can take one of these and just throw it away. Don't use this. This is, it will make you crazy in the head. I've been trying for 7 months to get this on here. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay, we put that down. What else do we have here? Oh. Does anyone have a large suitcase at home that they don't use anymore? Yeah, I think you probably do. Okay, yeah, let me find my umbrellas down. Just a picture. I don't feel my famous roller act. It's the suitcase. Here we are. You know, like, wow! Yeah. See, I'm relaxing at home and I'm performing at the same time. These shorts are shorter. Lots of videos and they look real nice. Oh, I know. To make this more abundantly, you'll be juggling the knives on the suitcase. Just like the circus. Okay, that's a little low. I think I can do it though. If anyone needs a sourdough starter, I have a very good one. I can send it to you. I'm not at all a desperate or a broken man. Yeah. Okay, here we go. I do this. Oh. Whoa. The ceiling is a little low, but I tell you what. Whoa. This makes the handstand easier. Wow, amazing! How does he do it? Oh, it's just like my days under the big top. I think I can smell the roasting peanuts. Or maybe that's toast. Anyway, sorry I didn't get to do my horse accent for you this evening. But tune in next week, and I show you my equestrian act. Okay. Thank you so much, Tschüss. Bye-bye, auf Wiedersehen. Thank you for coming. I am not desperate inside. Nein. No, everything's going great. Okay, good Abend. Yeah, it's just like the old days.
Oh, it was just like the old days. Hans Liebedick, how delightful. So delightful. It's me again, your stage manager, Elia. And you know what that means. It's time for a little commercial break. To help recall your moments here, you're gonna want a souvenir, a sticker or a patch to fight the gloom. Just gonna mute this guy. A t-shirt really is the best for wearing us across your chest and showing off for folks you see on Zoom. So go ahead and treat yourself and buy some merch tonight. 'Cause a little circus swag improves your life. When you're not here watching this show, how can you let your people know you're part of this community of clowns? Tattoos are great, but they can hurt, so maybe just go with the shirt. And why not go and order yours right now? So go ahead and treat yourself and buy some merch tonight. 'Cause a little circus swag improves your life. Your purchase won't just make you glad, it also keeps these artists fed. So thank you in advance for living large. Pick out the thing you like the most, and we will ship it out by post with circus love included free of charge. So go ahead and treat yourself and buy some merch tonight. 'Cause a little circus swag improves your life.
Thank you, Elia. Now, folks, I encourage you to take images of you wearing Bindlestiff Family Circus merch and sending them in, because the more images we get, the more likely Elia will be forced to write another verse for the song. Well, folks, it's Old Home Week here at Shea Bindlestiff. The circus is known for the rock stars it places on the musical mantle. Tonight, welcome back one of our legends, and this time is a special treat. He is joined by his partner in life. Corn Moe has toured America, Australia, New Zealand, and Europe supporting the Bindlestiff family circus, Wheatus, the Pantani sisters, Nick Offerman, Ben Folds, They Might Be Giants, and the Polyphonic Spree. He is also Disco Mountain Man in a Bee Gees metal tribute called Tragedy. Tonight, he's going to play some songs. Angela Harrell is a choreographer based in Brooklyn, New York. She has choreographed for the Public Theater's Shakespeare in the Park, as well as several productions at La Mama Theater 80, Theater for the New City, the Crane Theater, and Dixon Place. Her resume is filled with a long list of TV and film credits. She has also created and choreographed multiple shows and performances in the nightlife venues of New York, including the House of Yes, the High Line, Le Poisson Rouge, the Slipper Room, Verboten, the Diamond Horseshoe, Soho House, the Standard, the Dream Hotel, Webster Hall, Hudson Terrace, and the Bowery Ballroom. Her dance company, The Love Show New York City, has also toured Japan, Egypt, Italy, and Mexico. And tonight, Corn Moe and Angela join us together in their delightful studio at home.
Get up, I know you're trying to sleep, get up. Something I want you to see, it's no big deal. It's just that Superman's on the TV. The casting is spot on, here's a Lego minifig if you want him to follow along. Later you can use them for your rewrites and sequels. But you kindled my concern with the San Andreas fall. Falling through the cracks, what if it rains? What if it hurts just enough, getting swallowed by the earth? Get up, I know you're trying to sleep, get up. Something I want you to see, it's no big deal. It's just that Superman's on the TV. To kindle my concern, the San Andreas fault. If it stopped the world from spinning, I think the atmosphere would go on without us. Get up, I know you're trying to sleep, get up. There's something you need to know, I'm around. Get up, I'm glad you're here, get up. I'm glad you're still around. If you need anything, just ask. That was a song about a dad wanting his kid to see Superman. Ange, what are you doing?
Hey, I'm just having a glass of wine in the bathroom and crafting because, at one point I was making costumes, but now I'm not really so. Instead, I'm gluing things on other things. Like this door was once a regular door and now bedazzled. So I want to talk about some of the things you can do with glue. Okay. You know what you can do?
Tell me.
You can re-gift a gift.
I gave you that.
Well, you know what? I loved every page. But now I'm going to make it even nicer because I'm going to add sparkle.
You're gonna bedazzle a book and then make it look like it's not a regift.
Yes. So, I need some inspiring music. Can you, hook me up?
Yeah, I've got a song about glue.
Perfect.
It's called Glue.
Oh, good.
Oh dear.
Let's play it louder.
Oh yeah, sorry.
For more inspiration.
Apologize. Oh dear. Still not sorry.
You know what? In the meantime, let's talk about different types of glue. There's hot glue, decoupage glue, Elmer's glue, edible. It's edible. And what else? Well, let's see. I guess if you have no glue,
All right.
you can always use tape. Oh.
I put you in my shoe to keep my feet from wandering from your protective soul. Glue, while keeping my directions tethered. Glue, I put you on a branch to fix a broken tree. It didn't last. Glue, I made you into gloves and peeled you off with pleasure. Glue, I've eaten your cousin paste. Glue, nothing happened, but I was late to rest later down the road. 4 squeezados in her drawer, I mended 3. But the 4th one buckled in its stomach part. Shattered plastic, shattered glue, hardened by its growth and girth. Glue, you're a good metaphor, mostly for relationships and talking points and meetings.
Okay, that was the perfect amount of time. And guess what? I have something special for you. Voila, huh?
Oh, neat. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. I love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
Ask Hobie. Okay. Polar bears, ask Hubby. Lions, ask Hubby. Elephants, ask Hubby. Circuses, ask Hubby. Children, ask Hubby. Aerialists, ask Hubby. Clowns, ask Hubby. Ask Hubby. Ask Hubby. Tightrope walking, aerial gymnast, circus tent, ask Hubby. Menagerie, barn, bathing, big time, ask Hubby. Ask Hubby. Ask Hubby. I don't know what I would do without my glue, because I use the glue to make my PowerPoint little things here, my low-tech PowerPoint. Another coincidence tonight is that the question, I just happened to pick this question tonight from Dale: what act in the circus is the oldest? Well, I could simply refer you to Carla and Maddie riding Boomer and Dusty. That would be the first act. End of question. But I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk a little bit about Philip Astley. Philip Astley was an equestrian. He was also the father of the modern circus. He was an Englishman, and this silhouette is actually the frontispiece for a book on horsemanship that he wrote that's gone through many, many editions. This is, I think, the 3rd edition that I have here. It's not in great shape, but and then again, I'm not either, so I don't worry about that too much. But here you see a lot of stains on this. This is the 3rd edition of Astley's System of Equestrian Education. Now, Astley was from Newcastle in England. Newcastle is very far north, but it's about halfway between Ireland and London. So horsemen bringing horses from Ireland to London sort of would naturally stop off in Newcastle. And it so happens that Astley's father was a carpenter. Now, if you know about horses, you know they used like sawdust and wood chips to put in the stalls of the horses for good reason. And so the horsemen would come to Father Astley's carpentry shop to get the wood chips and stuff like that. And so the young Astley learned a lot from a lot of different horsemen about horses. And eventually he had a fight with his father and he went off to join the army. And in the army, he became a cavalryman and he did all kinds of breaking horses and riding horses and cavalry riding maneuvers, which actually is trick riding. Now, there were two immediate predecessors in England and also throughout the world that also did this type of thing. This is Thomas Johnson, the so-called Irish Tartar, who performed something you saw earlier tonight, Roman riding on two horses, also one horse and three horses. And then Jacob Bates performed all over Europe. He performed for Louis XVI. He performed for Catherine the Great in Russia. He even came to colonial United States and performed. But it wasn't a circus. It was just a horse act. Astley took the idea of the horse act, and made a ring and added other acts. You see Astley on a horse right here, and a ringmaster, the true ringmaster, who's the master of the ring who controls the horse, and a merrymaker guy, a clown, an early version of the clown. The audience here, it's not roofed over yet. This would be in 1777. I would say Astley, who was born in 1754, I think. It said on the book. It was, I know he died in 1814. I think he was born in 1742. I'm going to say 742. That's my final suggestion. But the audience is here, and the front of it had different banners and stuff. Acriteria, which is horses, and a nice equestrian statue right up here. He built several of these, and he also built the first circus in France. His son John, Marie Antoinette referred to as her English Rose. And there was another, there was a student of Astley by the name of Charles Hughes, and he started a circus down the street, and he did not call it Astley's Amphitheater, he called it the Royal Circus. And that's where the name Royal, not Royal, but Circus came attached to the circus that actually Astley had invented, but he didn't give it that name. And as Hughes was a student of Astley, Ricketts was the student of Hughes. And Hughes took the circus for the first time to Russia, where he performed for Catherine the Great again. And this is a picture painted by Gilbert Stuart, the same guy who did the George Washington on the dollar bill. And John Bill Ricketts was the first one to have a circus in the United States. And of course, it spread all over the world, and the rest of it is pretty much history. One of the great, great, great successors to Astley would have been Andrew Ducrot. Right here you see Andrew Ducrot, Roman riding with 5 horses. He was probably the best circus rider of all time, Andrew Ducrot. And another contemporary would have been Pablo Fanke, the first Black circus owner in England. And he, his real name is William Darby, but he was made famous in a Beatles song, being for the benefit of Mr. Kite, as Pablo Fanke. And that's the same, very same guy. In conclusion, I would just like to say that there's another coincidence. I don't see people pointing this out so much, so I'm going to take it upon myself to point this out. That Philip, the name Philip, as in Philip Astley, comes from the Greek. It comes from philos and ippos. Philos means loving, and ippos means horse. So Philip Astley was very horse loving. That's another coincidence. Ask hubby.
Thank you, hubby. And I know we've had some kiddie pool spinning already on the screen tonight, but what would a Bindlestiff open stage be without a little bit of plate spinning? With that in mind, here's a little plate spinning. Actually, we're going to start it off with plate waltzing, and then we'll move into the spinning realm. Waltzing is basically just the spinning of a plate on a flat surface. You can just give it, spin it like that, and let it go for a while. Let's just watch it. It'll spin for a moment, and in a few seconds, it will just stop. Now, with a little bit of help, you can keep that waltz going for a little bit longer. Just like that. Now, folks, if you try this on your floor at home, especially if you have downstairs neighbors, they will love you. So in a moment, what I'm going to attempt to do is get 4 plates waltzing across this stage. And then once all of them are waltzing, we will attempt to also get 4 plates spinning. Let's get this one turned over. The waltzing is such a beautiful sound. Now, like I said, we're not only going to deal with the waltzing, we're going to add a little bit of plate spinning to the excitement. So in a moment, you're going to see 8 plates in motion, as long as none of them come crashing down on my head. As you can hear, that's a few pounds of heaviness that could easily come cracking on the head. So let's just try to get it spinning. There we go. The second plate. Whoop. Just a little plate spinning for all of you to enjoy the evening. Now, for this Live at the Muse segment, we return to a space fighting for existence in New York City landscape. As eviction dates are argued in the political halls, real humans continue to strive to make differences and celebrate passion and love. Bindlestiff loves the Muse, and we thank them for making this space available to the New York artist. Now, it must be Shark Week at the Big Top, For our final act of the night, we welcome an aerialist puppeteer and the creative director of the absurdist art collective, Visceral Abstractions. Currently, she is working on creating a video version of their latest show, Sex Ed. She is also collaborating with Aaron Schmallenberger and will be sharing some new work to be found on Blundervision. The text for tonight's act is an excerpt from Roland Barthes' A Lover's Discourse. Recording and sound design by Will Spartalis. Please welcome Lucy Licious.
I am mad to be in love. I am not mad to be able to say so. I double my image. Insane in my own eyes. I know my delirium. Simply unreasonable in the eyes of someone else, to whom I quite sanely describe my madness. Conscious of this madness, sustaining a discourse upon it. Every lover is mad, we are told. But can we imagine a madman in love? Never. I am entitled only to an impoverished, incomplete, metaphorical madness. Love drives me nearly mad, but I do not communicate with the supernatural. There is nothing of the sacred within me. My madness, a mere irrationality, is dim, it frightens no one. Yet it is in the amorous state that certain rational subjects suddenly realize that madness is very close at hand. Quite possible. A madness in which love itself would founder.
Lucy Licious. Well, friends, that's our show. Now, before I bring everyone back out, I want to thank you for joining us in the show tonight. Thank you for sharing love and laughter in these trying times. Thank you for supporting live online entertainment. And thank you for supporting tonight's artist. This show would not be possible without our amazing crew, the folks who make us look good, sound good, and stay connected. Up in the booth, we have Elia Bisker, Noah Bailey, and John Huntington. On the other end of my camera, Jim Fleming. Our new captain at the social media helm, Daniel Federer, and managing the social media house tonight, Laura Siegel. Welcome back to the screen, the cast of tonight's production. Hans Liebedik, Ariel Ebeshe, Daniela Jack, Lucy Licious, Carla Switzer and Maddie Gatrell and their equestrian partners, Mouse, Maggie, Dusty, and Boomer, Shayna Golub, Dan Wasdell, Cornmo and Angela Harrell, Hovey Burgess. Now, friends, if you're interested in being a part of Season 2, stick around for info on how to submit your material. Want to sponsor an upcoming show? Have something you want to promote to the Bindlestiff world? Stay tuned for that info. Hope you can join us for our Tea Party Gala on October 17th, this Saturday. We need to raise the funds so we can continue doing what we do. Please support the arts in whatever way you can. Your contributions and love really make a difference. I have been your host, Keith Nelson. And this has been Bindlestiff Open Stage Variety Show, the Quarantine Edition. Continue to stand up for justice and equality. Stay safe, wear a mask, and love one another. Thank you, and see you next week.